Welcome back to the Zen Zone. Zen Lee here on the Commander GT. We're in Caleria. You can see it's a beautiful day. We're gonna go out for a ride and talk about the racing mode. This is the first time I've ever been able to put the Commander GT into race mode, and it's a race wheel. So my first impressions, I've already kind of ridden the racing mode a little bit today. We rode all the way up to this antenna, and my first impressions are I love the accelerations. I love how it feels more agile and nimble. However, the braking, there's something about the braking that's way off. Like, you would think, because in racing mode, the spin out, man, is super fast. Watch how fast this will spin out to 111. I mean, that's so freaking fast. The problem is I'm having trouble braking with it. It creates the way it brakes, it doesn't lean back as well. It's a really weird, I have to brake with a different technique, and it's creating wobbles, and my pads aren't perfectly set up symmetrically, so I'm just getting a weird wobble in racing mode. This wheel is the wobbliest wheel I've ever ridden. I was talking to Leanna yesterday, and she thinks I need some heavier plates to get the balance of this wheel right. I think the Commander GT Pro is going to be amazing because it's going to be 3,000 watt, and it's going to create a better balanced wheel, which I'm really excited for. 168 volt wheel with 3,000 watt battery, and hopefully it could fit the bigger tire on here. So we're gonna go out today. I'll be talking about this wheel while we're riding, my impressions. And so far, the only thing I don't like about racing mode is the braking, and the braking is so bad that I might actually turn it back to off-road just to not have to deal with the chance of wobbles. I had a wobble crash right over here yesterday or the day before. Thankfully, not even a scratch on me, but this wheel is a wobbly wheel, especially with this tire and the tight suspension. If you make any mistakes, you're gonna wobble like crazy on this wheel. You've probably already seen some viral videos of people wobbling on this wheel. Some really good riders too, so it's not like, you just have to be super careful with this wheel. I'm really afraid to go fast on it because braking hard is not the easiest. I really think that the heavier plates, or I'm just gonna upgrade to the Commander GT Pro when that comes out probably, so that the 3,000 watt battery will just be better. But we also did a range test with this versus the Extreme, which is kind of the intro to this video probably. The range on this is a lot less already than the Extreme. The Extreme was brand new. This has almost 3,000 kilometers on it, and the Extreme was getting about 10 to 15% more battery life. So definitely, I only recommend these 50S cells if you're going to be racing, or you have enough money just to, hey, these cells are degraded, I'll just buy some new ones. Or if you're like putting this into your car driving to the racetrack. If you're using it for commuting or adventure riding, they're just going to degrade too quickly, and it's not going to be a good investment for your wheel, especially if it's a wheel you want to keep for a long time. This wheel, I love the GT. It just needs a few tweaks for it to be a better racing wheel. I think you can see kind of right there how it's it has a weird dip when you brake. So I'm in soft mode now. I was in hard. Ooh. Oh my gosh, that's like super soft mode now. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Might have to try medium mode, but I'm gonna try all the modes in racing mode and report back to you. We'll keep riding. Psycho's recording for me. He's on the Commander Pro, which is a freaking, I miss that wheel. The suspension's better. The GT in some ways is kind of a downgrade. We were talking about, Psycho and I were talking about, because if this had the suspension of the Commander Pro and maybe just a little bit bigger battery for balance, it would be amazing, but it doesn't. So each wheel has its different uses. This is more for like tight tracks, but let's vamonos to the top. We're gonna go up to the antenna and then come down. You might get to see me wobble crash. We'll see, hopefully not another wobble crash. That wobble crash was pretty crazy. All right, so we're in soft mode now. I'm gonna be accelerating and then braking just to kind of get a feel for it. No, it's actually, the soft mode braking feels pretty good. We got a biker coming down in an orange shirt. And we're gonna accelerate up this hill. Okay. Some pretty good accelerations. Liking that. Ooh, this view's amazing. Okay, take this turn. All right, feels good. Soft mode, good. It feels like I'm dipping. It dips down so much. Like the wheel is leaning forward so much. I don't know. I might have to go into medium mode. But going uphill is no problem, but it feels like my tippy toes are gonna touch the ground. And then braking, oh my gosh, it's so hard to freaking brake. So hard to brake. You see the wobble? Whew. Okay, going around up to, I like the turning. The turning on the race mode is so much better. See how it carves. Carves pretty well. The braking is the issue. This is not a technique issue, I don't think, so much as because I can brake just fine in off-road mode. Once you get going too fast, your wheels lean so far forward that it's hard to kind of get it to go back into brake mode. You gotta like press down on it really hard. I'm not digging that. So right now it feels like it's dipping down way too much. And I gotta not digging the soft mode. All right, I'm gonna try medium mode. Oh wait, we're recording, so I can't try medium mode. We'll get to the top. I'll give the soft mode a little bit more of a chance, but man, the braking's just so... The high-end accelerations, it's dipping too far forward. Like I'm gonna fall off the front. And then switching from that to braking is really difficult. I'm not liking that, how it feels. All right, let's get some speed. It definitely gets going fast. Ah, man. But I love, man, it's such a trade-off because I love how fast I get going. Like I feel like I'm leaving the Commander. He's obviously holding my phone and not going as fast, but I feel like I can dust the Commander. Yeah, all right, that's pretty good. All right, so that's soft mode. I'm afraid to go downhill in soft mode. I think I might have some problems, but soft mode is feeling really good on the accelerations, but there's just that delay between going forwards and then see how there's a bit of a delay. So I'm gonna switch to medium mode and try medium mode. All right, so I am in medium mode now. We're gonna be going downhill. We're actually gonna go on the beach and do get some other footage for you, but the idea of this video is to talk about the different modes. I'm in medium mode now. I did soft mode. Soft mode, I love the accelerations. I love how it turns, but the transition from accelerating at high speeds to braking is just not so good. So we're gonna try medium mode. Hopefully it's better. So far I've just been playing with medium mode for a second and I'm not liking it. It doesn't feel as responsive and not as agile, but here we go. Let's go for a ride. We're trying medium mode now. Downhill is the most dangerous place for wobbles, and this being the most wobbly wheel, you got to be even more extra careful going down. I'm kind of liking the braking actually going down here. The suspension is super tight on this wheel, and I have it adjusted as light as you can. The bike coming down pretty high speed. Okay, the camera, I gotta kind of stay close to the cameraman because so we don't get that feedback sound. Man, it's powering up the hill pretty good. Stopping pretty good. The turning is, I don't like the way it's turning as much. We've got a nice, beautiful view here. Beautiful place in Spain, Caleria, Spain. We got our hotel not too far from here so that we can just train. We have a race coming up, an urban race where they're closing down the town for us, and we're gonna be racing through urban town. The carving is pretty good. The acceleration, whew. But the braking again is my issue. I can brake easy below like 50 miles an hour, but once I get to like 70, 80, it's so hard to brake in those speeds from racing mode. And the accelerations. I think medium is the better option for braking so far. This is nice. Nice area to ride. There's some wobbles. And then if you hit a bump or something while you're wobbling, it makes it even worse, like a basketball. Yeah. Okay, so medium mode. I don't know what I feel about medium mode. I don't think racing mode is going to be the better option for me because of the braking. But let's continue on and do some tests. Okay, so we're still in medium mode. And as of right now, as much as I love the extra bit of acceleration, speed, I don't know if I could do it with the braking. I don't know if I have the muscle for the braking. So I might have to just keep the off-road mode. I like the off-road mode. There's nothing wrong with the off-road mode. It just doesn't feel like it's as optimized as the racing mode for taking off. Oh, leaving behind the Commander. We'll go this way just for a second. Did I lose him? I lost him. All right, so yeah, it just doesn't feel as optimized. I'm really hoping the Commander Pro GT has a bigger tire because I love the Conti Scoot tire, which is the tire I have on here, but it's not good for high speed. So man, this wheel just is not a high speed wheel. Even though it can go fast and has super accelerations, I just don't consider it a high-speed wheel because the tire, I don't have a good tire that can handle high speed. So this is where I had my wobble crash right here. I was bombing down like this, and whew, you can see right there, I kept them under control, but they were like 10 times worse than that thing. But yeah, you can see how I got the wobbles there just a little bit. I was going even faster, and it was nighttime, and I had to bail off the wheel. Sometimes, man, there's just nothing you can do to stop the wobbles. Once you get them to, once they're at like an extreme point and there's bumps in the road, let me know that you like this type of organic video where we're just going out and testing live for you. Okay, we'll try to take you guys to the castle so you can see how epic it is, and then we'll go to the beach. I think I'm gonna switch to hard mode and try hard mode one last time, and then probably gonna go back to off-road mode. All right, so we are back in hard mode, which is the mode I prefer most in racing mode. Here's something I didn't mention about racing mode in general is the noise the wheel makes. It has like a large feedback noise. I like how responsive the hard mode is in racing mode. It feels like this is what you'd want for like taking some tight turns, for doing some more agility type stuff. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Hard mode feels good. Except for the braking. Let's see if I could show you guys how easily it's gonna wobble. My pads are set up pretty good, and I got the heel stops, that leaper cam, so I can pull up on my feet like this to help with the braking. The turns are pretty good. Let's get into some sunshine so the footage looks better. We're gonna take this right here. Do some carving down. Definitely feels like 8 carbs. Like crazy well. Brake. Okay, it's feeling pretty good, but I'm not going fast. The issue's not braking at low speeds, the issue's braking at high speeds. Like, could you imagine getting the wobbles right here and just flying off the edge? Let's not imagine that. Let's not manifest that. So I'm only going like 40 right here into this turn. Off-road mode, I feel like I could go faster into the turns because I don't have to worry about the wobble issue so much. Also gotta be careful that a car don't hit us. Okay, that was pretty good. Pretty good turn. Shout out to the cameraman, Psycho, man. He's keeping up and keeping my camera. This is my only camera. If that breaks, oh, here comes the first like hairpin turn. I love hairpin turns. This is my favorite kind of turns here. Ooh, and it does it pretty well. Handled that pretty well. Okay, let's try to go a little bit faster now. I'm getting a little bit more confidence. Uh-oh, dog wants to play. Ooh. Something also that contributes to the wobbles is a high tire pressure, and I'm running this tire actually lower than I would in most other tires. You can see the castle up here. Looks amazing. That's where we're gonna take you guys. Should be a nice road. Beautiful, beautiful perspective here. I love Spain. Spain is just one of the most beautiful places in the world in multiple ways. The beaches, the mountains, the rides. It's just so beautiful. So stepping on it a bit, kind of a slight wobble. We got him on the vest. Gotta look out for these sandy, so there's some sand in some of these corners you gotta look out for. I love the acceleration! The acceleration's amazing. Woo. I think this spins out faster than the Lynx. So it might even out-accelerate the Lynx. I'm curious about that. I'd like to see some acceleration tests versus the Lynx. But I just don't think the Lynx can't fit a bigger tire, unfortunately. It can only do like a 9 or 80-90 tire, which is this size tire, and I'm ready for a bigger size tire, like a 22-inch. Somewhere between a 22-inch and a 20-inch tire would be perfect. All right, so this is the castle. You could actually get up to the top a different way with the unicycle, but it's a really beautiful spot, man. Spain has castles, it has new architecture. It just has all these amazing views. Some cannons. It's amazing. Okay, so let's go to the beach now. Do I need to do any further tests with this wheel? I think I'm gonna go back to off-road mode and then see if you guys can notice any difference. So let's go to off-road mode. All right, so we are back in off-road mode, which is the mode I've been riding in since I've had this GT and have the most experience with, but it has been updated. Oh man, I just like the off-road mode, I think better, but it does turn differently. So I have to recalibrate my brain a bit, dips a bit more. But this is the mode I've been riding in, so I should get back into it pretty easy. I don't know, man, this is a tough one. I kind of like the racing mode. I was starting to get the feel for it, but we got a truck coming, so let's go. A little bit too far away from the microphone. Okay, so we're back in off-road mode. I feel more confident in this mode. But the racing mode, it does have its advantage, man. Each mode has its advantages. I think I'm just gonna have to spend a lot more time. But I already feel faster in this mode. It doesn't dip down as much. It stays more steady, so I can really lean into the turns too. Get more of a pivot type of turn. The carving's still really good. I don't know. It is a tough decision. The race is in a few days. I guess at the racetrack I could play around with the different modes and see which one feels better. After coming back to off-road mode, there are some things I really like about the racing, like just like when I step on it, it really goes. I don't have to put as much weight in the going forward, but conversely, the braking, I can brake better, I think, in this mode. Practice touching the ground. Gotta be careful of these blind corners. Bike or something come whipping around. Whew. It's such a great place to ride. So we're gonna go to the beach now. Yeah, so I haven't tried the Lynx yet, but I should be trying it soon. I love the idea of the Lynx. There's only two things I'm like, man, I wish I had speakers like the Commander GT. I think the Commander Pro GT or Commander GT Pro is gonna have some amazing speakers, I hope. A bigger tire than the Lynx and more voltage. So in terms of racing, I think the Commander Pro GT, it's getting confusing on these names, is gonna be the better option. So we're gonna go try to find the beach. We'll go through the city. You guys are gonna get to see a city view. I'll try to keep the dialogue going about all the different wheels and not gonna go too fast because there's all kinds of pedestrians and stuff. But the Lynx looks like the wheel of the year. My only two complaints with it, based off what I've seen, I've not ridden it, is you can't put on a bigger tire. You can't do the 90/90 tire, which you could do on the Master, and you can't have speakers. You don't have speakers. You'd have to add your own. So I think we got to go through this U-turn here and factor around to the beach. And I think we're at the beach. We can maybe take the sidewalk here. It looks like a bit of a block. So we'll just transition to the sidewalk because it's pretty empty. The cars creating congestion as always. The little old lady in the middle of the street. This guy wants to go around, but he can't. And so he's stuck behind while we are just casually going through, looking out for people that may be coming out of these unexpected places. And boom, we're through the congestion. No problems. Woo! And we are at the beach. We are at the beach with Cycle, mi amigo. And I love being able to just pop up on a curb like this. Yep. And now let's do some beach training. I guess we could try the racing modes out here. Gonna get a little bit sweaty. Let's see how far we can go along on the beach. Okay, so we're in off-road mode, which I usually don't have much of a problem riding in off-road mode on the beach. The dark spots are gonna be easy, so we'll start in the sand. Woo! I don't think he's gonna be able to record me going through, not in a steady way. We might have to go to the hard spot. Whew, this would be a good place to test out the different modes. I want to try racing mode in the sand. Do you feel any different?
So, if you feel some different at the sun with that racing mode, for be honest, I have to tell you, you can feel it, but you less torque. You are faster than in the off-road mode, but unfortunately, if you wanna climb walls or play at the sun, you need a torque, you know, then I think it's not the best option for play like that. Racing mode, like the name say, is a racing mode for race. Now if you wanna play, then I recommend to you use the off-road mode. I love that wheel. That's like my favorite wheel that ever I tried. It's so powerful. The structure is really hard. Also, I don't know, the balance of this wheel is a little bit heavy, but with that balance you can do amazing things, you know, give to you too much control to another ones. For the race and for play, that's like my favorite wheel.
Yeah, I missed the
I'm falling in love with the Commander Pro. I like the GT, but so they tried because they tried to make the less weight wheel, but I don't know if they get a nice result, because with that balance, how Sen say before, you can get many wobbles, a little bit unstable. I don't know, it's really fast, but for be honest, I don't really like that wheel for race or for play. For play it's too heavy, and for race mode, if you are going fast, the center of the balance is really difficult to find, you know. It's like wobbling all the time, also with that tire. But it's not the worst. All the wheels have different uses. What can we do? Just enjoy.
Okay, so in conclusion here, I love the GT, and I do agree it's not the best wheel for many rides, but I feel like it's going to win some races, especially on the tight circuits and even off-road. I feel like as a single track wheel, the suspension is totally different, and it just feels like it's more solid. The Extreme kind of feels a little bit plasticky to me, even though it's more lightweight. This feels more durable and more solid. The balance is not perfect, and it takes a lot to find it, and you got to add on these panels, but I think most Begode wheels you need to add something on them. That's what I love about the Commander. We don't need to add anything except your own pads. It's ready to go. You don't need to add panels. The weight's distributed well, and I think the Commander Pro GT is going to be like the most optimized out of all of them. Extreme Bull is really putting some good wheels together, and look at this tire. This is an 80 by 100 tire, so you get a lot more traction versus this Coniscoot, which is the 80-80 or 80-90 tire. On the Lynx, you can only put this size tire. On the Commander Pro, you can put bigger tires on it, which are really nice. And there was some scraping going on here. Like you can see his inner panels have taken some damage because the wheel scrapes on the sides, but it's not so bad. You know, it's nicer to be able to put the bigger tire on there than not. These little tires, man, at high speeds are not good. And the Coniscoot is not made for going high speed, in my opinion. It's more for like doing like tight turns and really enjoying the turns, because the way it's more like rounded, it's more of like a round type of tire. So it doesn't go fast as well, or it doesn't have the stability that a lot of, man, I love the V12 stability, that huge tire, or the Master Pro, the big 22-inch tire. I love that stability at high speeds. But with those tires, V13 and Master Pro don't have the quality suspension of this Commander Pro. This Commander Pro has some quality suspension. GT suspension's good, but it's not quite at the level of the Commander Pro. So I think that wraps up this video. If you guys enjoyed, leave a thumbs up. We put a lot of work into it. Sweating out here on the beach. I mean, it's not too much work. It's a lot of enjoyment. This is our passion. This is our... We don't need to make these videos, but I feel like they're helpful. So in conclusion on the 50 SLs, the 50 SLs, I don't recommend them unless you are a racer 100%, and I don't know if anybody's a 100% racer, because if you're commuting or using this wheel for adventure riding, you're gonna degrade the cells too fast, and then you're gonna need to buy new cells. So only buy it if you're using it specifically for racing, or you just when you do take it out, you don't take it out too much, and you're not charging it up all the way. There's a lot of factors that go into the degradation of these cells. You just basically just don't use it too much, and that's not what wheeling is about. You want to use your wheel as much as possible, so get the cells that last longer, and maybe the Commander Pro GT, I think with the 50 cells or whatever cells that get the most longevity will be fine, because you get that more voltage to get the more power. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the new wheels, what kind of content you'd like to see me make. With Psycho here, we got these two wheels. We got some exciting new wheels coming we can't talk about, but they're potentially not going to jinx anything. Maybe we have some new wheels coming that we're going to be reviewing that are more exciting and better for racing. So we'll keep you updated on that. And until next time, stay in the Zen Zone.